Did you go down to San Antonio for Mega Camp?
I did not go.
Yeah.
I've never been,
No?
ever.
It's a great city. Great city. This.
I've been there, but I've never been to Mega Camp.
You've never been to Mega?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I've been to San Antonio.
Yeah, I love San Antonio.
Love San Antonio. One of my favorite cities in the country.
Well, Mega Camp will be there for the next couple of years.
Oh, is it?
Hmm.
Yeah, in August.
It's hot. Yeah, hot and humid.
Orange. Real hot and humid.
Yes, it is.
My other city is Sedona, Arizona.
Okay, great. Yep.
Love
Also hot. Great in the winter.
It's a wonderful place.
Hmm. Yeah, I've never spent a lot of time in Sedona. Been there, but
We lived in Arizona for a while.
okay.
Yeah, so it's not that we spent time there, because we lived in Tucson, so it was quite far away.
Yes, yeah.
But we would go back there to just vacation, for like 4 days or
Hmm.
whatever.
Long weekends.
Just, there's a healing vortex there. And it's just amazing how wonderful you feel. Yeah, just, it's an incredible place. It's where the Native Americans would go. Yeah, for healing.
I've heard that. Hmm.
Yeah. So I looked it up to see if that was all like in my head, but it's.
Turns
very-
out there's a history there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Where
Yeah.
were you been?
Sedona,
Oh, yeah, I was there a couple months ago.
in Sedona, Arizona.
Yep.
Oh, I went golfing there, had one of my best golf games ever. Man.
Joints felt good.
Whoa,
Swing felt
yeah,
good.
and then your altitude,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yep, that's great. It's 11 o'clock. What do you say we get started? Harshita, is that okay if we get started, or do we need to give it 2 more minutes? Okay. Psych.
My granddaughter's
We're going to give them a couple more minutes.
University of Arizona.
In Tucson?
Second year. She loves it.
It's nice down there, I loved
She
it.
loves the school.
It is. It's one of my most favorite places I've ever been.
It's done where my friends who just quit Wall Street years ago moved to. And they've been 20 years, 30 years.
It's,
They love it.
Yeah, it's just it's a lovely place to live.
Yeah, we visited them. It's very good.
July and August are horrible. Yeah, but June is dry, September's pretty dry. But those monsoons in July and August.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
And those those lightning storms. I don't know if you were there when they had an electric. Oh, man. They are
We're
really.
talking about Philippines?
No, Tucson.
Oh, same
They
thing.
have lightning storms, and they are picture taking.
Yeah.
They are beautiful.
Yeah, we have a family text string, and just the other day, my granddaughter texted that there was flashlight warnings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, because of those monsoons, they just.
Yeah.
I can remember, I was under something that was, a gutter or something from the building, and it hit so fast and so hard that my floor filled up with water because it came in through the vents in my car.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Kelly was born there, in
What?
Tucson. Yeah, Kelly, my daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. And my other daughter was born in Boulder, Colorado. Didn't like Boulder. Didn't like it at all. Thought I was gonna love it.
Never been there.
Just wasn't for you?
I've never been to
It was so beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't like it. You have to have some really good friends to like a place. I do.
Mm.
And then it was such a, I
That
was
makes
like, I
sense.
felt like I was the only Democrat in that. And of course I was.
There's that too, yeah.
Yes. My husband would say, you're the only one clapping, you know?
Yeah. My kids moved to, both my daughters, families, moved to Idaho, so they go through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's funny because, Dad, we got a new neighbor, they just moved in, last week. That's what they're from.
Oh, a lot of Californians, yeah. One of my clients moved to Idaho.
Yeah.
Welcome. Perfect timing. Now we'll get started. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to optimize and enhance your business and online exposure through AI and your online presence. My name is Zack Younger. I'm your Regional Technology Director for Northern California, Hawaii region. So I get to work with all of our Keller Williams offices and our agents all across Northern California, Hawaii. And it's my job to help our top agents and our leaders be as productive and profitable as possible in their real estate business, usually through the use of technology. And today we're going to talk exactly about that. More specifically, AI. Who here is using AI? Cool. Who here is using it on a daily basis? Yeah, okay, a little less. That's great. Very good. My goal here today is to give you some really actionable steps that you can start leveraging AI to come up with some really great things that you can do online with all of that. On the screen, you have a QR code. I want everyone to pull out your phones and take a picture of this slide. Don't just scan the QR code, like literally take a picture of it.
You want us to take your picture?
Nope. I'm on the slide for you. After you take a picture, open up the picture and then figure out how to scan the QR code from the picture. See, some of you have already figured it out. Just press and hold on that QR code on the photo and it should just give you the option to open up that QR code. Is it working?
Yeah.
Couldn't find anything to click.
Huh? We learned something new today.
Couldn't find anything to click.
They couldn't?
No, couldn't.
Depending on the age of the phone and the operating
Oh,
system,
don't
some of
tell
the
me.
older operating systems don't have this functionality yet.
I called it.
Have you ever scanned a QR code before and then the next day you go looking for whatever it is you scanned and it's nowhere to be found on your
Yeah,
device?
it was-
Well, from now on, you can just click a picture of a QR code that you think you might need access to later and you'll have access to it. For those of you whose devices don't work for that, you can always scan the QR code and then email yourself the link that it takes you to, and then you've got access to it whenever you need it. I see your hand.
No, I was just gonna say, my phone is new, but it's Google.
Google, yeah, I think it's
And I
a,
tried.
you found it?
It didn't work.
There's an option called like Google Scan inside of your photos where to like scan the image and it'll look for a QR code and you should be able to do it that way.
Okay.
Maybe go closer. The first time I failed.
Yeah, it's like Google Eye or Google Scan.
So where do I find this if I get rid of it? Like if I.
Just go to your photos.
Oh, it's in the photos now?
Yep, it should be
Okay.
saved in your photos. You can just go to the photo and you can just press and hold on that QR code.
At least for my phone, I can go to my scan option and there is a history of all the QR code I have scanned.
Oh, really?
So I don't take pictures, I just scan.
Perfect. And then you can just go back to the history of your
Pictures,
previous
too many
QR
pictures to
scans.
scan and roll.
There's many ways to skin a cat. I
Yeah,
love it.
so what it did was I had to go to Google Lens,
Google Lens, good. Yep.
and then I was able to.
Press it on the
Press it.
photo. Very good. Fantastic. See, we're all learning here. I love it. I get the opportunity to teach all across the world to really awesome people like all of you here. And one thing that I see commonly is when I'm teaching a class, people will pull out their phones and take pictures of whatever's up on the screen. And now you don't have to do that because you've got a nice clean PDF version of everything that we're going to see. That'll help you with note taking and things like that. Of course, not everything I say is on the screen, so if you do take notes, there might be an opportunity to write that down. It would help to have a pen and paper. There will be an activity later today with, that we're going to need a pen and paper or your computer, but if you don't have one, that's okay. We're going to be a group activity and we'll be able to make this work even just with your phone with everything that you need there. Give you just one more second to take that. Get it? Fantastic. All right, over our next hour together, we've got 5 main things we're going to talk about. The first is SEO. We need to understand why we want to use AI in our business, and SEO is ultimately that reason. Then we're going to talk about blogs and topics because we're going to leverage AI to come up with new content for your online presence. And blogging and the different topics to blog are a big way to do that. Then we're going to dive deeper into AI. We're going to use AI to actually write a blog, and then we're going to finish off with ahas, as we always do at Keller Williams University, those action items that we're going to take in our business. Before we get into the content, up on the screen you've got some information about the TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Nothing we're going to talk about today really has anything to do with the TCPA, but I'm talking about it anyway because I never skip an opportunity to inform our great agents and our leaders across the company about that TCPA and to make sure that you're abiding by the TCPA. If you're making any business calls, whether that's business to business or business to consumer, need to make sure that you have permission to call them before making any calls, especially using robocallers or voicemail drops, text messages. Emails can even be part of this as well. Can cause catastrophic damages when we're not following that TCPA to our business when we don't abide by that. And so that QR code, again, it's in your slides that you have a copy of, takes you to all sorts of other additional resources with that. If you've ever taken a class with me, you know that I'm a big fan of having some ground rules in a class. And the first ground rule is ask questions. I love questions. There are no silly questions. There's no stupid questions. All questions are valid. And so please don't hesitate to ask questions and play all in, which goes right along with give and receive. Share your ahas. If somebody asks a question and you have an answer or a different answer, offer it up. None of us are as smart as all of us put together. We're all going to share our ahas. And then my favorite ground rule at the end is to have fun. Are you guys okay with us not take ourselves too seriously? When we're going to talk about artificial intelligence or technology for an hour straight, it's almost inhumane not to stick our head out the window occasionally and just go, whee! And just remember that we're in this business to do great things and not stress ourselves out. And that's big in my book. Let's talk about SEO. First thing off the list. Who can give me their definition of SEO, or what does SEO stand for?
Search engine optimization.
Search engine optimization. Bingo. Now, what is search engine optimization? Somebody give me like a one-sentence description of what you think of when you think of search engine optimization. Ooh. What's that? Google? Yeah, absolutely. Search engine optimization, simply put, is the process of making your website or your online profile show up at the top of any search, whether that's Google or any other area. We want your profile, your online presence, to be at the top of the list or close to the top of the list. Now, when we think of search engines, we oftentimes immediately think of Google. What are some other search engines that use search engine optimization?
Bing?
Bing, absolutely. What else?
Duck, whatever.
DuckDuckGo? Sure. Yep. What else? What was that? ChatGPT is a type of a search engine. Yep, it's an AI large language model that can run searches for you. What else?
Is Safari?
Safari is a web browser that has a search engine built into it, usually Google, but you could also set it to be Yahoo. We didn't hear that one. Yahoo's a search engine. Let's think outside the box. Harshita?
My new favorite one is Perplexity.
Perplexity, absolutely. It's an AI or artificial intelligence tool where we can run searches and ask it to run tasks or give us information, insights. Here's one, YouTube. YouTube is a search engine, right? We can search for YouTube videos. Any other thoughts?
TikTok.
TikTok is a search engine. Facebook is a search engine. Instagram is a search engine. What I need you all to hear is that every website out there where you can run a search is a search engine. Your profile on Facebook uses search engine optimization. Some Facebook profiles, some Instagram profiles, some LinkedIn profiles have great search engine optimization. Others have mediocre or bad search engine optimization. How do you increase search engine optimization?
Using keywords.
With keywords, absolutely. You can use specific keywords that you think people will search for. Absolutely, yeah. What's that?
Hashtags.
Hashtags can add to search engine optimization. Hashtags don't carry as much weight as they did at one point, but they can still make a difference with things. Yeah, these can all work.
Like regularly adding content?
Yes, absolutely. Say it one more time.
Regularly adding content.
Regularly added content is probably the simplest answer I could give you to boost search engine optimization. The thing that's important for all of us to hear walking out of this is you want as much search engine optimization as possible. Whether that's Perplexity or ChatGPT, Facebook, Google. You want your profiles online to show up when people search for anything that might be related to you or really anything. That's the goal. We want to show up in those search engines. Steve.
I have a pet peeve.
Good. Tell me about it.
What would it take for us to have our listing come up as the first line when the address is searched?
It's a good question. What would it take for our listing to be the first website to come up
Because there isn't,
when people search for that
no
listing?
one knows more about our listing than us.
Mm-hmm. Ultimately, the best way to get your listing to show up before any other website when somebody searches an address is for your website to have really great SEO. You want to play by the search engine's rules. You want to give them ultimately new content. The more information you have on your website where your listing is going to host, the more likely your website's going to show up before other websites. This is why Zillow tends to show up first when people search for an address, or Redfin, or another website, or maybe kw.com as opposed to your real estate website. These other websites that I just listed are constantly putting out new content. They're writing little articles that people care about when it comes to buying real estate, selling real estate, or just really anything related to life. And so the best way to show up at the top of any search engine is to play by their rules, and that is give them content. A better way to kind of understand why that is to understand these three SEO terms: crawl, crawler, and index. Every search engine out there uses these three things. They use a crawler to crawl your website or your online profile, your Facebook profile. They use a crawler to go out there and crawl your website, to go consume as much information, content, data as it can from your site. And it indexes that information. It memorizes everything that's on your site. So now, let's just imagine that you've got a real estate website and you want it to show up at the top of page 1. And your website is like 90% of other real estate websites out there. It's what we might call a cookie cutter website, or a set it and forget it website, a template website. You turned it on and then you never did anything to it. It's about 90% of real estate websites out there. The crawler, let's talk about Google. They call their crawler Googlebot. It's got a lot of other names, changes, but let's call it Googlebot. Googlebot, when your website goes live, it goes out and crawls your website. And then it indexes everything that's on there. And chances are, Googlebot's going to find a bunch of content that is identical to maybe 50,000 other real estate agents' websites. How relevant do you think search engines, or Google in this instance, is going to find your website? Yeah. It's almost identical, if not identical, to 50,000 other websites, maybe 100,000 other websites. Now, the Googlebot is going to come back to your website 3 days later, maybe 2 days later, maybe the next day. You can't control when the crawler goes to your website, but ultimately at some point the crawler is going to go back to your website, and it finds 3 days later no new information. It crawls your site, it checks its index, and it finds nothing new. And then a week later it goes back and crawls your website and finds nothing new again. Google is going to look at your website as having very poor SEO. It doesn't have information that consumers are probably looking for on your site. It doesn't make your website bad, it just makes it less relevant for what people might be searching for. Now, let's just flip that on its head, and let's say that you've got a real estate website. You go live with your real estate website. Googlebot goes and indexes all the information, and it's very common to 20,000 other real estate websites out there. But then Googlebot comes back 3 days later and it finds new information. It's crawling your website and it finds new content. It goes, oh, food, and it indexes that. And then it comes back another 3 days later or maybe a week later and it finds more new content. What do you think the chances are that the crawler is going to go back to your website in a day or two? Yeah, the whole job of these crawlers is to go find content, go find information so that when people run a search, it can find relevant information and then serve it to them. The more you update your website, the more SEO you have, simply put. The more you feed the crawlers, so the more often it comes back and crawls and indexes that information, you win. That is the number one way to build SEO. Now, there are all sorts of other techniques that you can use to increase search engine optimization with keywords, with very specific or niche blogging or communication information and data. But for all intents and purposes, just put new information on your website somewhat regularly. That way, every time the crawler visits your website, it finds new food. You're feeding the crawler and you're enticing it to come back and to send other people to your site. That's the most simple way that I can explain what SEO is. Now, how do we update our website? If we know that we need to put new content out on our website in order to get SEO or search engine optimization, how do we do that? The number one way is through blogs. Who here blogs? Ooh, nobody confidently raised their hand. What is a blog?
A story?
A story? That's a good definition. You look like you were going to add
I was
something.
just saying, just writing your thoughts, what you think about market or.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. The word blog comes from weblog. It's just a shortened version of weblog. It's an online journal entry. It's a story. It's your thoughts just put out on the ether, out on the internet, on your website. Back in the day, blogs started off, and I'm talking, we're like 35, 40 years ago, the first blogs were travel blogs. People would go on vacation, and every day they would do an online journal entry of what they did that day. And they did it for a couple reasons. They did it to keep their friends and family up to date with what's going on out on their travels. They're checking in to make sure that their friends and family know that they're safe. They want to log that information so that they can come back and reminisce on that great vacation that they just took.
But it sounds like you're describing Facebook.
Oh, that's an interesting thought. Absolutely. Now, those travel blogs eventually turned into all sorts of other blogs. Food blogs, photography blogs. People started writing about whatever they were eating that day or what they were cooking that day. And it evolved
Change to vlogs.
into all sorts of other things. Now, Facebook is basically a platform that allows us to do online journal entries, isn't it? We can post a picture about what we're doing that day, what we're traveling to, how we're feeling, what we're eating, our kids winning a softball match. For all intents and purposes, when you post on Facebook, you're blogging. They're basically just shorter blogs than what we think of as a blog, which is a longer article about our travels or the food that we're cooking with the recipe and all sorts of extra details that go along with it. When Twitter came out, now known as X, it was the first microblogging platform. Microblogs, when Twitter came out, do you remember how long your tweets could be?
42.
What's that?
42?
42 was almost that short. It was 120 characters, which felt like 6. Because 120 characters is basically one sentence. When Twitter came out, all you could do was tweet one sentence. It was a microblog. It was that one thing that was on your mind at that moment. Eventually, Twitter expanded that to 240 characters, and now you can X or tweet much longer ones, but they're all just microblogs. All of these things are blogs. It is the number one, the easiest way to update your website, your online profile, is to blog religiously or consistently. How often do you think you should be blogging?
As much as possible.
That's a good answer. I like that. Yeah. As much as possible is a fantastic answer. Daily, I heard as well. Weekly, they're all right answers. The more often you can blog, the better. Can you overblog? Not really. I mean, there is a point of diminishing return to say if you were to blog 63 times a day, It's not 63 times better than if you were to blog daily. But the more you blog, the more search engine optimization you're creating. Whether that is posting on your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok, or writing on your real estate website, you're increasing the search engine optimization. That's the goal. What could we blog about? What are some different topics that we might consider blogging about?
Lifestyle.
Lifestyle? Like, tell me more.
Your daily hobbies, people get to know you.
That's a great one. Absolutely. Blog about yourself, like what you do on a regular basis so that people get to know you. Why do you want people to get to know you?
Part of branding.
Absolutely. You're building influence with them. You're getting closer in emotional proximity. So lifestyle is a great topic. Seasonal home tips is a great thing to blog about. Whether you're blogging on Facebook or your real estate website, seasonal home tips are a good thing that people like to know about. What are things that you should be doing around the house every September? These are good things to post online because somebody might search for that. And by the way, they might not search for things to do around the house in September. They might just search for housekeeping items, or they might search for September home tips. In your blog, your profile online might just show up for any of that.
Maybe some home-related services that they may need.
That's a great topic, absolutely. What are different things that people might need for being a homeowner or a prospective homeowner? 100%. Local events, great things to blog about. Remember, blogs can be Facebook posts, they can be LinkedIn articles, they can be a blog article on your website. Small business highlights, talk about that new restaurant that just opened up. These are all things to increase your search engine optimization, to enhance your online presence. Recipe sharing has been popular for a long time. Pet of the month. Show of hands, who has a pet? Seriously, raise your hand if you have a pet in your house.
Does it have to be a living one?
No?
Just kidding.
No?
Never had pets.
Okay, that was about, what, 30% of the room raised their hand? Do you know what percentage of American households have a pet? Over 50%. Hawaii is the #1 state for households with pets. They're at like 65%. But California is about 52%.
Is that because of the chickens?
What's that?
Not because of the chickens.
Chickens count if you consider it a pet. 100%. Yeah.
That's why they're so wild there.
If you were to look at your entire database, what you would find is that about 50% have a pet. What does it look like if all of a sudden you went out and interviewed everyone in your database about their pet? And once a month you posted an online blog article about a friend's pet. And all you have to do is just interview them about their pet. Get a picture of their pet, talk about their pet. By the way, those of you that have pets, do you like talking about your pets? Yeah. Oftentimes they're like kids. Sometimes you love them more than your kids. It's a very real thing.
Sometimes they're instead of kids.
Instead of kids, for sure, in lieu of. A Pet of the Month blog is a great way to stay in touch with your database, build deeper relationships with people by literally just calling people and saying, I'm going to blog, I'm starting a new blog for my real estate business. It's called Pet of the Month or Pet of the Week. And I just interview people about their pet and then I share it online. Are you interested in being interviewed about your pet? And out of the 50% of your database that has a pet, about 50% of them, maybe a little higher, are going to love talking about their pet and would love an online article about their pet. And then you post that on your real estate website and then you share it to Facebook. And when you share an article about your past clients or prospective client's pet, what are they going to do with that article?
Forward to their friends.
They're going to share it. They're going to send it to their friends. And what did they just do? They just shared your real estate website, or they shared your Facebook profile. They just told somebody else that you're in real estate. That's the win.
Is this an interview like a video or a blog?
Yes.
Like a written?
The answer is yes. Doesn't matter. Just do it. Video's better, but there's a lot of you in here that know that you should be doing more video. And turns out a lot of you just aren't going to do it. And if I tell you to do video, only video, then you're less likely to blog. So I would say just go and do it. Go interview people, find information, topics that you can blog about, and then just do it. If you do it by video, extra bonus points. But if you don't have any video and you just have like a photo of their pet, win. Or about the local business that you're highlighting. They're all good answers. You can blog about classes and information, things that you've learned recently, seller's guides, buyer's guides, educating other people, local activities, just things to do. In general, your favorite things, your hobbies. These are all different things that you can blog about. Literally anything you like talking about or writing about, you get to blog about. And we're going to talk about how to use AI to do that. So we just gave you a whole bunch of different ideas and topics to blog about. What we're going to do is we're going to break into groups of like 3 to 5. So I'm going to break you into groups. I got a group of 4 right here, a group of 4 right here, a group of 4 right here, and a group of 4 right back there. Good? Everyone's got their group? Cool. What we're going to do is we're going to do a group activity, and I'm going to give you 3 minutes. Don't start yet. Here are my instructions. Your goal is to come up with as many blog topics as possible in 3 minutes as a collective group. So you're going to need a pen and paper, or at least one person in your group is going to need a pen and paper. What you're going to do is you're going to go round robin. And one person in your group is going to just say a blog topic, something that you think you could blog about. As generic as you want it to be, or as specific as you want it to be. And then somebody in your group, ideally everyone, but someone in your group needs to write down that idea and then go to the next person. Go to the next person. Go to the next person.
So we have to do this together, guys.
If anyone in your group like has a mental block and they're deer in headlights and they're frozen, skip them. Go to the next person and just keep going. What I don't want to do is have somebody hem and haw for 30 seconds. Now, don't start yet. Don't start yet. Anyone here competitive? Because it seems like we got some competitive people. Whoever comes up with the most topics wins.
When we win.
Yes, we'll learn afterwards what you win. Are there any questions before we get started?
Are we allowed to utilize tools?
I did not set any stipulations on it.
Last time we did.
Any other questions? I might yell out some blog topics while you're going. If you like them, write them down. On your marks, get set, go.
Sure. Sure.
Playing, for me, it's playing cards. Yes.
Backyard gardening tips. Things to plant in October.
Make your house more secure.
Local hidden parks.
When you say real estate, basically what, like education?
Dog-friendly happy hours.
And we can bring it down to
Real
something.
estate's broad, right? There's lots of topics we can do.
And we can do our blogging topics.
So that's why.
Right, but we have, we need a blogging topic for real estate.
Tips on buying.
5 things to do with your grandkids in Fremont, California.
What about schools?
Of course. 10 date night activities for under $10.
Yes.
Or first time home, yeah, you can do first time home seller, because I know one of the things I tell them is, when you start cleaning out, start in the garage. 'Cause it's the hardest. And you're gonna be retired at the end.
Okay, sports. Food.
Recipes.
Grocery stores in the area.
Oh, absolutely.
Tips to maintain your air conditioning unit.
Two grandkids with me.
Why heaters aren't common in specific counties.
That's common knowledge.
How to update your electrical system. Water heater types and advantages.
Vacations and staycations.
Your favorite oven.
There you go.
Things to do, like boring.
Why you bought a vacuum.
What kind of box is that?
Like an Airbnb type.
Cars you find in the garage. 30 more seconds. Keep going. Questions to ask about solar panels.
And then they brought it up here and used a big crane to drop it in.
Great places to swim in Santa Clara County. 5 seconds. Keep going.
I don't remember the exact unit, but it's like an additional unit. Like additional.
And stop. All right.
Attached from your home that you
I need
rent.
one person in each group, whoever wrote down the most ideas, write down or count up how many ideas you came up with. While you're counting, you're welcome to go back to your seats, or you can stay where you are. If you're comfortable. Who knows their number? 17? Fantastic.
19 plus.
19 plus. It's like
Restaurants and coffee shops.
28? Fantastic. 24. All right.
30 plus.
30 plus.
They're just throwing some numbers. They're just throwing some numbers. The whole neighborhood was out there watching.
Earlier, somebody asked, what did we win?
Friggin' ADU behind the guy's house.
This group here, you won 28 new topics that you could blog about. Y'all won 30 plus. You won 19 plus. And you won 17 topics that you can start blogging about. I'm not a big fan of participation trophies, but in this case, y'all won. In less than 3 minutes, you came up with, collectively as a group, about 90 different topics that you could blog about. Now, you know who the real winner is at the end of this day?
Who did the topics? We all.
The person who goes around and steals everybody else's ideas. Because any of you can go take a picture of the other group's list, and you could all walk away with 90 different ideas that you could be blogging about.
But the real winner is who will actually do it.
Ah, the real winner is who takes action on these new topics. Now the interesting part is you probably realize that someone could throw out a topic, and then all you have to do is change one word and it becomes a new topic, a new blog post. Somebody yell out a topic that you really liked, that you wrote down. Doesn't matter, just say one.
Sport activities.
What's that?
Sport activities.
Sport activities, fantastic. So you could easily turn a blog about like sport activities and why it's important for kids to be in sports or people to be active. Then you could break that down into how many other blogs?
As many sports
Yeah.
as you wanted to.
Probably 50. You could be talking about specific sports and specific times of year. You could start getting into sporting equipment. You could get really, really specific on any of these types of blogs. The fun part is when you start using AI to start coming up with different topics that you could do. Somebody actually asked, can we use a tool? I had somebody once go into this activity and they pulled up ChatGPT and said, give me 500 blog topics.
You can use that, guys, no? Be honest, you didn't use that, right? No. AI.
Mhm. That group came up with 500 blogging topics in 7 seconds. Now, I'm not saying you should go to AI and just blog about whatever it tells you, but it's a resource. The next time you run out of things to blog about, to write about on Facebook or LinkedIn, your website, whenever you run out, at the next team meeting, just raise your hand and say, I want to do a brainstorming activity after this team meeting and spend 5 minutes as a group with 6 people and do this exact same activity. And you'll come up with 20, 30 new topics. If you walk away here with 90 different topics and you were to blog every single week, do you know how many topics or how long of blogs you've got set up for yourself? That's 2 years of blogs if you blog weekly in 3 minutes.
But it takes a lot of time, right? I mean,
Oh, it can take a lot of time to actually write the blogs.
yeah.
That's where AI falls in. I'm glad you brought that up. And we're going to get into AI in just a moment, but let's just talk about a couple other ideas to come up with topics. Earlier I said pet of the month. What if you were to just go through your database, just look at your contacts in your database and ask yourself, who has a service that they provide? Could I interview them and blog about it? Who has a product that they sell? Who has a charity or a cause that they're passionate about? And now just go blog about these things. Call them and ask them questions about it. Here's the cool thing. They provide the content, the pictures, the logos, any links that you might want to reference in your blog. And all you do is copy, paste, share, and everybody wins. You get to help build deeper relationships with the people in your database. And you come from contribution. You're promoting their business. You're promoting their product, their charity, or the cause that they're passionate about. Ultimately, you're just helping yourself help them. The person who helps the most amount of people wins in real estate. That's the goal. Now, AI is really important. So let's talk about AI. What does AI stand for? Bingo. How long has AI been around?
7 years.
7 years? Good answer.
20.
20? Good answer.
Longer than that.
8 years.
8 to 8 years? 8 to 10 years? Yeah? Good answer.
52 years.
What's that?
52 years.
I'm good with that. 52 years. I was going to say about...
I am AI.
Yeah.
I'm 52.
Perfect. You are AI. I was actually going to say 50 years. Most experts would say that AI has been around about 50 years. In fact, it's actually been around a little bit longer than that. But AI 50 years ago was different than what we think of AI today. 50 years ago, AI was really just a program that was designed to look for patterns and create predictions based on those patterns. The only people that had access to AI 50 years ago were data scientists and big conglomerates, big national companies that had a lot of information, a lot of data on their products or their people. Companies like Target, Home Depot. These companies are tracking what's sold, when it's sold, who it's sold to, what regions sell the most of it, and they do it for a handful of reasons: inventory, pricing, and they're able to then take a computer program and look at all this data and then make predictions as to what they should be stocking up or how they should be pricing the things. Target actually got a little heat about 30 years ago. You might remember hearing about this story, and there was a teenage girl that was receiving coupons for baby products. And the dad saw these coupons and called up Target and said, "What are you doing? You're trying to get my teenage daughter pregnant." And Target was like, "Oh my gosh, you're right, that's not cool." And over the course of him hounding, he finally gets a hold of ups at Target, and they were like, "You're right, this is a problem. We've got an issue in our system. We should not be sending a 16-year-old girl coupons for diapers." And they go a little deeper, and it turns out that this girl was pregnant, and their AI had correctly identified that this 16-year-old girl was pregnant and that she probably was going to need to buy diapers soon. The AI knew this girl was pregnant before her dad.
Oh.
Is it scary? Yeah. Is it good? Maybe. Is it bad? Possibly. Is it going away?
No.
AI's been around a long time. I saw your hand up.
Yep. Is it like when you search something online, then it shadows you, follows you from then on?
It's a computer program that's basically tracking what you're looking at and then making predictions of other things you might buy and then putting those in front of you. Yep. So if AI has been around for 50 years, but we haven't really been talking about it very much until just the last 4 years or so, that's because of what we call AI chatbots. We now, as a regular consumer, not Target, not Home Depot, not data scientists, we as consumers can now interact with AI because of these AI chatbots. Ultimately, These large language models, things like ChatGPT or Google Gemini, Claude, Grok, these are all AI chatbots. It gives us the ability to ask AI a question. The large language model knows all sorts of information because it's been feeding data that crawlers have been scraping off of websites, and it knows all this information, and the AI can now make predictions. These large language models start getting better because they can start thinking for themselves, and so AI has been evolving to where AI is able to not just make predictions based on certain data points, it can actually think, it can process what is the best decision or the right decision. Is it always right? Say no. It's not always right. But it's a tremendous tool that we have in our arsenal. These AI chatbots show up all over the place. Okay, I mentioned a couple AI chatbots. Let's list them off again. Who gives me an AI chatbot that you might have used? ChatGPT. Which one? Gemini. Claude. Perplexity. Yep. I mentioned Grok.
Amazon.
Amazon has its own AI built into it. Bing AI, that's Microsoft's. All of these different AI chatbots all have different purposes. Here's four of the biggest. ChatGPT is the OG, it's the most versatile. That's the one we're gonna talk about probably the most here. Claude's been around for a long time too. Claude specialized in being helpful, honest, and harmless. Claude was trained specifically to hallucinate less. In other words, to not make up stuff that appears to be true when it's not true. I saw your hand.
Which is best for real estate?
Which is best for real estate? The answer is yes. Pick one. They're all good. I'm a big fan of ChatGPT because it's the most versatile. However, if you're already using Claude, keep using Claude. If you're already using Gemini, keep using Gemini. If you're debating whether or not to pay for ChatGPT and you haven't been using it for very long, you might consider using Gemini because your KW email address comes with the pro version of Gemini. You just log into Gemini using your Keller Williams email address and you get a free pro version of Gemini. Really, any of them are great. Perplexity, some people would argue, is probably the best for real estate, but it really depends on how you're planning on using it. So the true answer is it's the one that you are most likely to use.
Does it make sense to use more than one?
It can make sense to use more than one because they all have things that they do a little better. If you're going to use a lot of AI, you'll probably find yourself using more than one AI tool. But in general, I say just pick one and use that one. And then the moment that you feel like it's not doing what you need it to, go try another one. And you might find that it does certain things better and you might use both.
It's just a general question, but I do have, I struggle with organizing the chats and all the discussions that I have.
Yep.
On ChatGPT, or they have like lists of lists. I started to do folders, but those can get only two subfolder, a subfolder. It's harder to organize. You have to move them from there.
Mm-hmm.
The information, it's better to move.
You don't have to, but if that's the way your brain organizationally works, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the challenge that I have.
I understand. Something you might consider doing is asking ChatGPT for some tips. If you're using ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT for some tips to help organize your chats in ChatGPT. I think of an AI chatbot as an intern in your business. The AI chatbot is ultimately someone that's here to do your bidding. However, let's say that you brought on a new intern in your real estate business. How powerful is that intern? Well, if you don't give the intern any instructions, they might just sit around and do nothing all day. But if you give that intern very specific instructions on what you want accomplished, the intern all of a sudden becomes very powerful. So think of AI chatbot, whether that's ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Bing AI, Grok, whatever you want to use, Perplexity. Think of it as your intern. Give it instructions on what you want, and it will give you information. And sometimes you might need to tell your intern to go back to the drawing board and give you another solution or other resources, another output, if you will.
So just to brief, give you a background, yesterday we had a long debate, long discussion on ChatGPT and general AI. So I don't know if you want to accelerate your presentation.
You had a long conversation
Yeah,
with,
Yesterday,
In our team
in
meeting.
our team meeting, we had a presentation, and a lot of us are versed with AI.
It was from the AI playbook.
fantastic, good, good, good.
So I don't know, have you repeat things that a lot of us sitting here like, okay, I'm bringing this today, what was new?
That's perfect. Has anybody heard anything today that was different from yesterday?
Yes.
Different tools that you could use? Good, good, good. And I appreciate that, and I will continue moving, but I don't know everything that was covered yesterday, and we'll make sure that we get you that information too. Let's talk about some very specific prompts that you can use. And I know that you guys talked about prompt building yesterday, but I want to give you what I consider to be the 4 best strategies, and I'm going to give you ad libs for those strategies. Persona, context, specificity, and length. More specifically, ad libs. Now there's a QR code here. It's the same QR code that you scanned earlier, but you have access to all of this, whether you scanned the QR code before or now. Here is an ad lib chat prompt that you can use for ChatGPT or any of the AI chatbots to help set up a persona. The persona is ultimately, what do you want the ChatGPT, the intern, to act? Dear ChatGPT, I'm a realtor in Fremont, California. I am knowledgeable about blank, blank, and blank. What are the 3 things that you specialize in? What you've done is you've just trained the ChatGPT, the AI chatbot, to act more like you. That's key. Give it a persona. You can change that persona at any given time. Let's say that you ask AI chatbot to give you some resources, some tools. You could then come back and say, give me these tools that might be in a more friendly, jovial spirit. Or give me this response in a more vibrant tone. Or give me this in a more professional nature. And these personas can all ultimately make your outputs better. You always want to give your AI chatbot context. Here's an example. I'll provide you with information about sellers that are reluctant about selling. Please write me a 500-word blog. Here's the information. And then you can just link to it. Now, when it comes to 500 words or the length of the actual post, how long is the perfect blog online?
Yes.
Yes, you're catching on. It depends on where you're posting it. But let's go to your real estate website. If your goal is to make your website show up before anybody else's, how long do you think a real estate blog or a blog on your real estate website should be?
800.
800 words? It's a good guess. 700 words?
Is it in seconds or minutes? Read.
It is. It's actually, the best answer is how long does it take somebody to read it?
6 minutes?
That's right, 5 to 7 minutes.
Wow.
Most experts would say that an online real estate blog should be 5 to 7 minutes for most people to read. And if you were to go Google or ask Perplexity or ChatGPT how many words it takes to read 5 to 7 minutes, it's going to tell you between 2,500 and 5,000 words. Because everybody reads a little differently. Now, a lot of people start getting a little overwhelmed at that idea. Holy cow, that seems like a really long blog article. Who's going to sit on my website for 6 minutes and read about something? Well, if it's valuable information and it's what people are looking for, that's good. But remember, we're blogging not only for our customers and for us to build more deeper relationships, we're also blogging for crawlers. We're blogging for search engine optimization. Let's just say that you write a 500-word blog and you post it on your real estate website. This is very common for real estate agents to do. Someone goes to your website and they read this 500-word blog. How long do you think it takes to read 500 words? Yeah, it's under a minute for most people. Now, let's just say that someone goes to your website and they spend, let's call it 30 seconds, reading your article. They read the entire article, they get everything that they wanted from it, and then they leave. What does the search engines think?
The article wasn't interesting, maybe?
Yeah, they might think that it wasn't very valuable because they didn't spend very much time on your site. Google calls that a bounce. In other words, they went to your website, in under a minute, they left. They bounced off your website. They didn't find... Now, what Google doesn't know is that the consumer found everything that they came to your website for. Now the alternative is Google sends somebody to your website or sees that somebody goes to your website because it's tracking everybody's visits on websites and everything like that. And they see that somebody goes to your website and they spend 3 minutes reading an article, or 5 minutes reading an article, or 7 minutes reading an article. All of a sudden the search engines are like, oh, this is a website that I should send other people to. People are spending more time on that website. Your goal is, of course, to increase your search engine optimization. You want to keep people there as long as possible. Now, if you post 2,000 words on Facebook, are people going to read the whole thing? No. The last time you saw an article or a post, a blog on Facebook, and you had to hit more and saw that you would have to scroll 2 whole screens, you stop reading. So you need shorter versions for that. If only there was a tool to help us make a long version and a short version.
What if you did it in a video?
You could also do it in a video, but here's the fact. If you post a video on YouTube, you want that video usually to be like 3 to 5 minutes. But if you post a video that's 3 to 5 minutes on Instagram, what happens? It doesn't show up for people. Or it makes you break it down, depending on your profile, to under a minute. So you might consider doing 2 different videos, one for YouTube and one for Facebook. There's actually apps out there that can take your long video and can shorten it into like a 1-minute version using AI. Yeah.
So what brings more traffic, the writing it or actually having a video of it? Because for me, I would do the video first, and if
Yep.
I find it interesting, I fish the link to kind of see.
Both. You want to do both. You want to write and do video. Ideally, you want to do both. Now, if you're not going to do video, writing is the next best thing. But video is best. But only video can struggle because sometimes people don't want to listen to the video. They want to read transcripts or captions for the video that go along with it because they might come across your video and have their volume turned down. But they want to see a couple of the words that you're talking about before they actually turn on the speaker and start listening to your video. So you want to do both.
In terms of training the ChatGPT, for example, do you have to give a full sentence or you can just command line? For example, length, 500 characters. Are you familiar with what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Can you give a command word or do you have to write a full sentence?
It's better to be as specific as possible when you're giving the input to ChatGPT.
Do you have to say, for example, here's my resume, remember this resume?
You don't have to. It will start learning you just by interacting with it. But it does help to go in and give it your resume. It helps to give them like your website, if your website has a lot of information on you, because you're teaching it to remember those things.
So on the question of remembering, if you have different projects within ChatGPT, does it go into project data? Does it exchange, do you know? Or it starts fresh each time?
It depends on the version of ChatGPT that's being used.
The paid version.
The paid version, and that depends on what model.
5. I have 5.
So with 5, the longer the better.
Okay.
5 is actually more reliant on very specific prompts.
Okay.
It does learn and it does separate those conversations and it learns from that.
Okay.
But the longer the input you give it, the longer the command or the request, the better ChatGPT 5 tends to work. But you don't have to be really long with it.
But do you have to give the command to remember? Say, remember this article or keep that?
If you have the paid version of ChatGPT, and most of them out there, you don't have to keep reminding it like a persona, for instance.
Right.
Yeah. You can even go into the settings and add a bunch of that stuff, so it'll just always remember it for your account for all of your chats too.
Okay.
Great question.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, I get a question often in this class, and that is, how do I blog on my Keller Williams site? Now, I'm not going to take you step by step through this because it would take 10 minutes to walk you through this whole thing. The cool thing is that QR code you scanned earlier also has this QR code. This QR code will take you to step-by-step instructions with pictures, arrows, and little GIFs that walk you through how to post a blog to your real estate website. With your blog, you always want to add a photo. You always want to add a link. You don't want your blog, you don't want Google to think that you're the all-knowing authority. So when you link to other websites or other information, most search engines find that to be more optimized, more information. Adding a picture, a video is even better. A picture and a video, double points. These are all good things to add into it. And you can do all of that by just following the instructions on your Keller Williams website. But more specifically, let's go in and just take a look at one conversation that I had with ChatGPT. Now what you're gonna see is that my prompts are actually pretty short because I wanted to do this really quickly. What I did here is about a year ago, I came into ChatGPT and I said, write me a blog about hiking trails in Sacramento County. I wanted to write a quick little blog about hiking trails in Sacramento County. Super simple. I just said, write me a blog about hiking trails in Sacramento County. In milliseconds, it came back with a title, Trekking Treasures, Exploring Sacramento County's Spectacular Hiking Trails. Now, right off the bat, I was like, I don't love that title. But whatever. And then it gave me an introduction and started talking about different hiking trails. And it specifically gave me examples of 5 different hiking trails. And I got to number 4 and I saw FEEA Nature Center Trails. And I saw that and I was like, that sounds fake. I thought it was hallucinating. I thought it was just making up a hiking trail. So what did I do? I went and Googled the FEEA Center Nature Trails. And turns out it was a really cool hike. And a nature center that I had no idea was in Sacramento County, just about 15 miles from my house.
Did you hike there?
That's good information. What's that?
Did you hike there?
I did not go and hike there after this, but I like knowing that it's there. I'm actually not a big hiker, but I wanted to write an article for other people that are. And then it gave me a little conclusion. Now I would argue that this blog is a little short, and I should go back and say, write this in like 2,500 words, and it would elaborate on that information. The key here is, before I take this information and copy and paste it into my real estate website as a blog article, I should take and edit at least 25% of it. Whatever information you get from AI chatbots, it should not be considered gold standard. It should be considered something you need to double check. Use the AI chatbot as a resource to like get the creative juices flowing, give you something to work with, and now all you have to do is just copy it, paste it into a Google Doc, read it once, and edit 25% of it. Make it your own. Make it sound a little bit more like you. You might read through it and be like, I would never say that. Edit it. Just tweak that part. Then you can post it online. Now, I didn't stop there. At the end of this information, I gave it another command. Give me another title. Remember, I didn't like that title. So then it said, Exploring Sacramento County, Unveiling the Hidden Gems of its Hiking Trails. I was like, ooh, I could use that. I like it. And I know I need an image, so I said, what image should I use for this blog? And it gave me 5 different examples of different images. Go take a scenic landscape, a trail marker, a sign, a nature close-up, hiker's perspective, or a wildlife encounter. Here's the key. Go take the picture. Use your own picture for your blogs. Do not, and I repeat, do not go to Google and type in a hiking trail in Sacramento County and then go take somebody else's image and put it on your blog. That is a surefire way to get a cease and desist and usually a $5,000 shakedown. And Errors and Omissions Insurance does not cover it. More often than not, people that post pictures online, they have those pictures trademarked or copywritten. And you posting it on your business page violates that.
What if you create using AI?
You can create images using AI, and that's okay. I always recommend if you're going to post a picture that was created by AI to give credit to the AI tool that built it for you. Don't try to deceive people that this was an actual picture of a hiking trail. Say, this is a AI generated image of something you might encounter in Sacramento County. Yep. Go take the picture yourself. Just use your camera and go take the picture. But writing a blog isn't everything. I also want to share this blog on Facebook, and I need to write a little bit about the blog. So I wrote, write me a Facebook post for this. And it put together a Facebook post with emojis and everything. And I was like, oh, that's cool, but it seems a little long. So I came back and I said, make it shorter. And it gave me a shortened version of it. It's like, fantastic. So I would go then post this on Facebook, and then in the comments, I would link back to my blog on my Keller Williams real estate site. That way, anybody that clicks into the comments could click in and read more about these articles. Don't post the link on the actual Facebook post. When it comes to social media, you don't want to post links in your blogs, in your posts on social media. Think of it this way. Facebook's biggest fear is people leaving Facebook. So when you post on Facebook and you put a link, guess what Facebook's algorithm does?
Then,
It hides your post from other people seeing it.
No way.
Because Facebook doesn't want anyone to click on that link and leave Facebook. Because they make all their money from keeping eyeballs in Facebook. Which is why you see all those posts online where it'll say link in the comments. I would say don't even say link in the comments and just put the link in the comments. Because Facebook's algorithm sees link in comments and is less likely to actually show that post. I get people that come out of this class often and they have this big aha where they're like, I've been putting links in all my posts. And then they go back and they look at their profile and they look at posts that don't have links and they've got 50 likes. And then they look at posts with links and they have 2.
Huh.
It's not because less people liked that post. It's because Facebook didn't even show it to any less people.
So when we promote a listing and wanna add the marketing website,
Yes.
not do it on Facebook,
Don't put the link back to it. Do it in the comments.
in the comments.
Yep.
Like not your comment. Is it like?
You would comment on your own post and then put the link in that comment.
Huh.
That's a way to kind of cheat around the system with
That's
Facebook's
okay.
AI and algorithm.
The same for Instagram, TikTok, and all of the other.
Yeah. LinkedIn is less concerned about links, but all the other ones. Instagram doesn't really even show the links. It's hard to even find those because you got to go down and click on the captions, and rarely people actually
But
click
unless
on
you,
those.
in your bio, usually.
You can put it in your bio because then people, if they get really curious, they can go to your bio and get a link to your website as well. hmm
That was actually my question. Is putting the link in the bio, the comments seems to be the better way to go?
Comments, because it's specific to whatever you're writing about that day, and your bio is probably just like the splash page of your website. Both
On
good.
Instagram, there's not really like a link that you can click or copy and paste either.
It makes it hard. They do make it hard. Then I took it one step further and I said, write me a script for a 5-minute YouTube video. And it literally put together a script for a 5-minute YouTube video on what I should say about this blog. But remember, social media needs to be a shorter video. So I said, make me another script for a 30-second video. And it gave me a 30-second version for Instagram and Reels and social media. The idea here is AI is a tool to help you come up with new content that you can put online. When you put new content online, you're building search engine optimization. When you have search engine optimization, you become closer to people. Don't forget to stay connected with your sphere of influence, your database. That's why we gave you all those ideas of different things that you could do with your database. Pet of the week, pet of the month, charity of the week. Who in your database has a service, a product that they sell, a charity or a cause that they care about? I saw your hand up.
What is the content of YouTube for this specific subject of trails? Are you talking live? I know yes, but is it picture? Do you create pictures, or is it just the text itself?
I would not do text itself. I would make sure that you're in the video because you want to build deeper relationships with people that watch the video. So typically you want a video of you talking. If you've got the know-how or the patience or the budget to like actually polish the video and do some editing, then you might take those pictures that you took to put in the blog post and edit those into the video while you're talking about a certain trail and have a picture of you hiking on that trail or something along those lines.
Do you think your post about trails were valuable? Because everyone can go to ChatGPT and ask the same question, what is the best trails in the Sacramento area? And they find the same answer and they will do the same thing. Why do you think that was really valuable?
ChatGPT isn't necessarily going to give the same answer to every single person that does it, but it could. What I know is that not everybody is just going to go into ChatGPT and look for hiking trails. Someone might just be on Facebook, didn't know that they were looking for a hiking trail, and they see my post about hiking trails, and all of a sudden now start caring about it a little bit more. And if I give them a link to an article with some valuable information, they may not ever go to ChatGPT.
Okay, if you see like this information, like you are not you see your information about trails, and you say, oh, trails. Would you read that long article, or you will go to ChatGPT and ask the same question?
I would read the article wherever I am.
Why?
Because I'm already there. and I'm there for a reason. So I'm on Facebook. I don't want to leave Facebook just to go to ChatGPT to look something else up.
You don't need to leave, you just go to another window and just ask the question.
But that's
or
leaving, and I don't leave it. When I'm on Facebook, I tend to be on Facebook, and most users are, and that's why Facebook makes billions of dollars a year, because they keep the eyeballs on Facebook. Meta, social media in general. Now, that's needless to say, some people will. And if I come across an article that's hiking trails in Sedona, Arizona, it's not super relevant to me. So that might trigger me to, if I all of a sudden am like, ooh, hiking trails, then I'm more likely to go to ChatGPT and do some research on that. But remember, ChatGPT very well might provide, if I write a blog about hiking trails in Sacramento County, ChatGPT, Perplexity, they might actually reference my article when providing other people information. Because someone might say, cite your sources, and it'll actually, ChatGPT can link back to my real estate blog with that information.
I think it's the level of trust that you have with someone blogging it for you rather than asking an AI.
And that comes over time
Yes.
by providing valuable information, content, information, blogging on a regular basis.
The thought occurred to me is if you realize that people are starting to look at certain content that you're posting, you can keep adding more of that same content, for example, on your website, and that will bring more people back.
That's right.
And so just keep adding. I give you an example. It's like, I don't know what I'm on. It's, I get an email from, was it Newsbreak, I think? And it'll post something about Disneyland.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm going to Disneyland in October. Well, whenever I read an article about Disneyland, when I get to the bottom, there's links to 4 more articles about Disneyland-related items. And so it keeps me there because I know I'm gonna see more. And the next time there's something new, the same thing. And so.
And one of them might be a package deal to Disneyland where
Right,
you can
and the
save
whole
money on
idea
your
is
hotel
that-
and
the whole
tickets.
idea is they're keeping you at their site. And so you wanna do the same thing on your website. Whatever it may be, just keep adding, and like you said, it increases your SEO at the same time. It doesn't have to be all real estate related. It could be your hobby, it could be, some other interest.
That's right.
And
Just
keep
put
adding
content
and
out.
feeding to that, and kind of be the go-to source for that information.
You got it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. We're over on time. Did you find value here today? Cool. Before I come back to you, Steve, or any other questions that you have, I'm going to hang out and answer any questions that you have. We need at least 3 ahas. What is something that you're going to do differently because you sat through this last hour here? What did you learn that you're going to do differently? Yes.
I'm not gonna post the link.
You're going to start using the link in the comments?
Yeah.
Cool.
To be consistent.
You're going to be more
On
consistent.
a daily basis, not promise, but I need to promise to myself. Every
Awesome.
day. Yeah.
Time block. Just set a 15-minute block on your calendar to go to ChatGPT, come up with some new content for you to blog about that day. Whether that's a Facebook post or a full-on blog on your real estate website. I love it. Steve?
Well, I had a question at the beginning, and I thought I won't ask it because you're likely gonna answer it.
Okay, but I didn't. What's up?
Well, the question is, can we, or how do we use AI to regularly and consistently update our website?
Ooh, okay. So,
Is it even, I mean, others, can we?
It's
can
kind
we
of
do what they're
possible.
doing? Can we
Yeah.
do what they're doing and try to compete with the Redfin and the Zillow and all of those and feed our website with content?
yeah, I say it's kind of possible. It's possible. But you have to start getting into like building your own custom GPT, which isn't that hard. You can literally go into ChatGPT and say, how do I build a custom GPT? But you can build a tool that can actually go out and post on your website.
Yeah.
I would ask though, is that the best thing to do? Because ultimately your website now is going to get filled up with a bunch of AI stuff that could very possibly violate fair housing.
Got it.
And so I'd be careful automating what goes out on your business related website, because anything that gets posted there, you could be held legally liable for what's posted on your business website. And so it's possible, doesn't mean that we should be doing it.
So it's better just to use it to create content.
That's what I recommend,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Use it to
Then
get the
hire-
creative juices
then hire a
flowing,
virtual
edit it.
assistant- Hire a virtual assistant to upload it for you on a daily basis.
The moment you don't have enough time to do that, because you're too busy with the business coming in, absolutely. Yep,
Got it.
leverage it
One more
out.
thing to remember, this ChatGPT and all these platforms, they're only 90% accurate. Because they
Yeah.
make fundamental mistakes sometimes.
100%.
When
And
you-
they don't tell you they're making a mistake,
Yeah.
they pass it off as
because of
truthful
this
information.
hallucination.
Yep.
And when somebody doesn't know real estate, they read it, they think it's all correct.
Yeah, you have to be careful
Yeah,
with
so
laws.
that's a danger with this.
With laws.
That's why we always want to copy it, paste it into like a Google Doc or a Word doc, read the whole thing. Anything you don't know that is 100% true, verify.
What's cool about it though is like you might think you're done searching something and then a couple days later, a new question comes to mind related to that. Well, it remembers everything you searched, ChatGPT remembers everything you searched before, so you can like pick up right where you left off.
Yeah, you can go into that old conversation.
It just keeps on going, it just, yeah, it's great how it remembers everything that you've done in research.
It's powerful.
Yeah, what platform do you use the most?
I use ChatGPT.
No,
the
I mean
most.
not the platform, I mean
Sorry.
social media. What is your
Facebook.
Facebook. Can you show us your Facebook?
Sure.
How do you do that?
I take absolutely no liability of what shows up when I go to Facebook.
ChatGPT generated, okay, that's good.
And how do you do? Do you do this on a weekly basis, on the everyday basis?
You might remember before I said, as often as you can.
Okay, how often do you do?
I'm weekly.
Weekly?
Yep. I don't want it to be overly consuming with it. So the first post you see is I got tagged in somebody else's post with pictures of things that were going on. I allow people to tag me and for it to show up with other people. But just because you're seeing this on my profile doesn't mean that you would see this if you went to my profile. Certain things are visible or not visible with different things like that. I got tagged twice for an event there. Some other tags. Let's find my last post. Simple. Just a post about my kid, first day of school, very simple, keep it short. Reminding people that I have a kid in school and that I'm just like them. Last post before that was a reminder post, that was actually my wife, of COVID, doing science experiments at home. I was skinny then. This was the last one, this is the 14th, so what's that, 6 days ago? Just pictures of me at a convention talking about why community matters.
Thank you.
This is me on an airplane with an empty seat next to me, which is a viral thing that I do on social media. Every time I fly, I try to get an empty seat next to me and I take a selfie. And sometimes I just post that. Sometimes I do thoughts from an empty seat where I'll like write out a whole whatever's on my brain at that moment. And I'll always go to ChatGPT and say, write me something really cool about this. And then I'll edit like 30% of it. But this particular one, I met Carl. He sat down next to me, and when he sat down next to me, he sat down next to me on purpose. He sat down next to me because he thought if there was going to be an empty seat on this plane, it's most likely going to be between him and I, because we're both big dudes. And I sat down here knowing that this seat 5 rows behind the exit seat is the most least likely for that middle seat to get filled. And then only 30 seconds later, this guy sat down next to me. And immediately I was like, I know what he's doing. And it wasn't about 40 seconds in when we started chatting, he was like, you know what I do sometimes to get an empty seat next to me? And I go, I know why you sat next to me. And he goes, what? I was like, we're both big dudes. And he goes, yeah. He goes, sometimes I'll wear a medicine mask when I fly because people are less likely to sit next to you then. I was like, so do I. By the way, Carl, does he remind you of anybody?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito? I'm good.
A lot of nothing.
He's almost an older version of me. Who's seen the movie Up?
Yeah.
Remember the old guy from Up?
Carl.
Do you remember what his name is?
Carl.
Carl. So I specifically said, meet Carl. He has his own strategies to score the elusive empty seat. And then I went on to tell him that he ultimately was giving me some different tactics on vacations on the cheap. And then I said, I like Carl. Adios, Mega Camp, because that's where I was coming back from. Can't wait to be home. Let the masterminds continue.
That's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
The big thing is do different stuff. and be as consistent as possible. All right, friends, I'm going to hang out here and answer any questions before we get going, but thank you so much for spending time. Get out there and start using more AI to come up with more content and blog about it, whether that's Facebook, your real estate website, everything. Just do it more often. Thank you. You got 92 new topics to blog about. Go use them.
That was really nice. Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Let me show you my, very short, because I'm not consistent. Let me show you my, sorry. Does this mean? Oh my, okay. Don't watch this. So, so literally, that's all I have.
Fantastic.
You see, that's not much.
Way more
So
than I
when
have on TikTok.
So when I am not, what do you call it, videoing, I just use pictures
Okay.
to kind of, like, I don't know, let me show you, for example, like, post that.
And
That's all-
music
and then
on the
rest-
background?
Yeah.
Do people